On the night of September 21st, 2024, Adriana was attending a party on a luxury yacht off the coast of Miami. Before the night was over, Adriana was dead. Although U.S. authorities have officially closed the case, many believe there are still unanswered questions, suggesting that what's been made public might just be the tip of the iceberg. To understand this tragedy, we first need to know who Adriana Vieira was. Born in Sao Paulo, Adriana was a 31-year-old single mother, model, influencer, and aspiring musician whose life seemed to embody the glamour of social media. With over 500,000 followers on Instagram, Adriana, known online as Lady Rich Forever, captivated her audience with glimpses of a lavish lifestyle, yacht trips, exotic vacations, and high-profile events. But behind the filters and carefully curated posts, Adriana was a regular woman doing her best to raise her 6-year-old son. Her journey to Miami began in 2022 when she moved from Sao Paulo to Florida with her husband Roberto Tesario and their young child. The couple frequently shared images of a luxurious lifestyle online, painting a picture of wealth and opportunity. However, the marriage fell apart, and Roberto eventually returned to Brazil, leaving Adriana to raise their son alone in the United States. As a single mother in a foreign country, Adriana faced serious challenges, including the language barrier. Reports say she didn't speak English fluently. To support herself and her son, she began working as a model and dancer. Later on, she became an adult content creator on OnlyFans, branding herself as a fitness girl with a $14 monthly subscription. Her page promised videos, photos, and steamy random messages. But Adriana's ambitions went further than that. In July 2023, she walked the runway at Miami Swim Week, a prestigious event that marked a high point in her modeling career. She also began exploring music, sharing her creative projects with her followers. Her Instagram was a mix of professional photo shoots, travel adventures, and heartfelt moments with her son, whom she often called my ray of sunshine. A post from September 5, 2024, showed her celebrating her son's 6th birthday, captioned, "Mommy cries just thinking you'll never be this little again. Life with you is my ray of sunshine." However, Adriana's life wasn't without controversy. According to Brazilian authorities and a report by the Daily Mail, Adriana and her ex-husband were allegedly involved in a multi-million-dollar scam in Brazil before moving to the United States. The scheme, tied to a company called Dois Três Importados, revolved around selling electronics, like phones and TVs, at below-market prices. The catch? Customers would place orders online but never receive the products. Described as a pyramid scheme, the operation reportedly scammed over 7,000 people. In 2019, when Brazilian police launched an investigation, Adriana and Roberto fled to Florida, where they continued flaunting their wealth on social media. Though Brazilian authorities contacted their U.S. counterparts, no arrests were made, and the couple's activities remained largely under the radar. In an interview, Adriana's mother, Antônia de Lourdes Vieira, said she became suspicious when Adriana and Roberto suddenly appeared to be living an extravagant lifestyle overnight. Despite the allegations, it's unclear whether Adriana kept any of that money after the separation, or if Roberto took it all. Since it was allegedly acquired through illegal means, Adriana had no legal ground to claim her share. What is known, according to sources, is that Adriana worked multiple jobs to provide for her son. She danced in Miami nightclubs, did modeling gigs, and tried to leverage her social media presence to build a personal brand. To her followers, Adriana was a charismatic figure, a woman balancing motherhood with a high-end lifestyle. But on the night of September 21, 2024, all of that would change, and tragically so. That night, Adriana boarded a luxury yacht anchored near Key Biscayne, close to the Rickenbacker Causeway in Miami. The event was a high-profile party, reportedly hosted by an unidentified rapper, promising the kind of glamour that defined Adriana's social media presence. The yacht was packed with friends, acquaintances, and guests, with alcohol and food flowing freely. Sources say the yacht was anchored offshore, setting the perfect scene for a night of celebration. Adriana was no stranger to these events. Her Instagram posts often showed her on yachts, living the Miami lifestyle. That night, she shared one last post on her secondary Instagram account. The photo showed two women in bikinis on the yacht, silhouetted against the sunset, with a bottle of champagne sparkling in the foreground. It was a snapshot of the luxurious life she projected to her followers, a life that seemed untouchable. But as the night wore on, the party took a dangerous turn. At some point, a group of guests, including Adriana, decided to swim in the waters around the yacht. At around 8:30 p.m., someone saw jellyfish in the water and told the swimmers to get out. Most people heeded the warning and returned to the safety of the yacht. Adriana, however, chose to stay in the water. Witnesses said she was doing flips and dives, appearing confident in her skills. Then she dove headfirst and never surfaced again. Panic set in when her friends realized something was wrong. About 10 minutes later, the U.S. Coast Guard was called to the scene near 200 Rickenbacker Causeway. They recovered Adriana's lifeless body and rushed her to Ryder Trauma Center at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Despite efforts, she was declared dead at 9:30 p.m. The Miami-Dade medical examiner's report confirmed drowning as the cause of death, with no drugs found in her system, ruling out substance use. Her death was ruled accidental, but the circumstances of her final moments raised more questions than answers. Why did Adriana stay in the water despite the jellyfish warning? Was she really an experienced swimmer, as some claimed, or did something else contribute to her drowning? The identity of the rapper who hosted the party remains undisclosed, and police stressed he's not implicated in the death. Still, rumors circulated, including one that said rapper Rick Ross was there, though no evidence supports this. Some claimed Adriana was killed at a P. Diddy-style yacht party, but that remains unverified and purely speculative. Miami police classified the case as an undetermined death while investigations continued. They collected statements from party guests and reviewed the circumstances to rule out negligence or foul play. The night of September 21st was shrouded in mystery, with Adriana's final swim marking the end of her life. The discovery of Adriana Vieira's body devastated her family, friends, and followers. Her mother, Antonia de Lourdes Vieira, was heartbroken when she received the news by phone, a call no parent ever wants. In a tearful interview, Antonia pleaded for answers, saying, "I want my daughter's death investigated, and I need help bringing her body home. I don't know how long I have before she's buried in a pauper's grave." She feared Adriana's body, still held in a Miami morgue, might never be repatriated for a proper burial. Adriana's 6-year-old son was left in the care of a babysitter in Miami, while the family struggled to travel to the U.S. to identify the body and make necessary arrangements. Antonia's anguish was only deepened by the challenge of bringing her daughter home and securing her grandson's future. According to sources, on October 16, 2024, Antonia was still struggling to raise funds to bring Adriana's body back to Brazil and secure a visa for her grandson to reunite with family. She told reporters she was desperate and needed to bring her grandson home. Meanwhile, Miami police continued their investigation, focusing on gathering statements from party guests and reviewing the incident to rule out negligence or foul play. The autopsy's confirmation that no drugs were in Adriana's system shifted attention to environmental factors, like the jellyfish warning or possible event organizer failures. The lack of lifeguards or life jackets may have contributed to the tragedy. Adriana's death sparked debate about safety at maritime parties. Media coverage emphasized the need for life jackets and qualified lifeguards at such events, especially when alcohol is involved. Her death resonated across social media, where she had built a community of over 500,000 followers. Her Instagram became a space for mourning, with fans and colleagues sharing heartfelt tributes. One follower wrote, "Wow, I remember working on a project with her. One of the sweetest girls I've ever worked with, gone too soon." Another commented, "She was an exceptional colleague, a wonderful mother, model, influencer, and an amazing human being. Rest in peace." The outpouring reflected the impact of Adriana's loss on friends and acquaintances. Her brother, Leandro Vieira, shared a statement from their mother on social media, confirming her death and expressing her grief. The post highlighted the family's urgent need for answers and closure. Adriana's story touched some, but others were less sympathetic. To her followers, she was an inspiration, a single mother carving out her place in competitive Miami. Her work as a model, musician, and digital influencer captivated many. But her past, linked to a scheme that defrauded thousands in Brazil, and her adult content creation on an 18-plus platform led some to say she got what she deserved. Sources say Antonia, Adriana's mother, fought tirelessly to recover both her grandson and her daughter's body. In interviews, Antonia said she had until October 21, 2024, to arrange the body's transfer. Otherwise, U.S. authorities might bury or cremate her daughter, possibly as a pauper. She was strongly against cremation despite it being the cheaper option. Antonia said she couldn't leave her daughter's body in the U.S., that she couldn't abandon her, and even knowing cremation and shipping ashes would be cheaper, she preferred to give her daughter a proper burial. Transporting Adriana's body from Miami to Brazil was estimated to cost around $13,000, a sum Antonia, unemployed, couldn't afford. To cover costs, she set up an online fundraiser, but by October 16, 2024, only about $300 had been raised, an insignificant amount compared to what was needed. Brazil's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the Consulate General in Miami, confirmed they were aware of the case and providing consular assistance to the family, including guidance and support for issuing documents like the consular death certificate. However, Brazil's Ministry of Foreign Affairs made it clear that the repatriation of remains of Brazilians who die abroad is the family's responsibility and cannot be funded with public money. Antonia also sought help from Brazil's Federal Public Defender's Office to assist with the transfer process and her grandson's repatriation. The Defender's Office said it was mediating talks and opened an internal case to support the family with international procedures. Still, the institution suggested the fastest solution would be to hire a private company for the transfer, emphasizing the priority of the process. In a Facebook post, Antonia stated that the paperwork was complete and all necessary steps were being taken to bring the body home and arrange the burial. This suggests the family was working on the transfer, but no specific details confirm if or how it was completed. Antonia also mentioned she spoke daily with her grandson and that he was being well cared for by his babysitter, indicating the boy had not yet been repatriated as of October 16, 2024. Although Antonia expressed optimism in some statements, saying arrangements were underway, no available sources confirm Adriana's body was actually returned to Brazil. The October 21, 2024 deadline implies intense pressure to resolve the situation, but the lack of updates prevents a definite conclusion. As mentioned before, no source confirms whether Antonia recovered her daughter's body. If she didn't, it's very likely Adriana was either buried in a pauper's grave or cremated. Regarding Adriana's son, some sources say he returned to Brazil, but there's no news on whether his father assisted in the process, directly or indirectly. In an interview, Antonia revealed she suffered from high blood pressure and had a stroke 2 years earlier, making the situation even more distressing for her. Her fragile health and lack of income made everything harder. Regarding Adriana's death, Miami police ruled the cause as accidental drowning. Despite speculation that Adriana's death wasn't an accident, authorities found no evidence of foul play. The case was closed the same year it happened, with no charges filed. Even though everyone at the party said Adriana dove headfirst and never resurfaced, some remain skeptical. Adriana's mother, and others following the case, don't believe it was truly an accident. But what about you? What do you think happened to Adriana? Leave your opinion for me in the comments.